There's been an enormously damaging 4 or 5 years in terms of the effectiveness of campaigns, and particularly of creatively awarded campaigns, and that we can pretty positively identify the causes of that, and that the most important cause of that is short-termism. That is the growing tendency for marketing and advertising budgets to be spent behind short-term sales initiatives, by which I mean less than 6 months. And that, because of the way creativity works, has a particularly damaging effect on the chances of creativity driving sales success. But the other factor that has been undermining creative effectiveness has been a budgetary issue, which is that all budgets have suffered as a result of the global financial crisis, and to a degree we have to live with that. There is a new mood out there in business. But the problem for creatively awarded campaigns is that because they always had lower budgets, that this trend has actually taken them into really dangerous territory, where their budgets are below maintenance levels and at a level at which it is completely irrational to expect growth. And so clearly clients are expecting creativity to be a substitute for budget as opposed to a multiplier of it. And the data simply doesn't support that. It's a false logic. Creativity works by multiplying positive investments in growth. It cannot make up for a shortfall. That's just not the way creativity works. You have to give it fuel to enjoy its maximum benefit. I really do believe that, digital's done a lot of great stuff for marketing, but it's unfortunately done one thing that is really toxic, and that is this focus on short-termism, which they have encouraged and fueled because the short-term metrics are so much more available and easier to use. And I really do think that it's time for a change. It's time for a revolution in digital metrics. I think it's beginning to come. I think there is a head of momentum building behind that understanding and that realization, and I think more and more smart people are trying to get involved in this. I'm not suggesting for a moment that we can ignore short-term objectives and targets. We have to, but we have to incorporate them into a regime that says we're going to do both. We're going to understand what short-term drivers are, we're going to understand what long-term drivers are, and we're going to make damn sure we're doing both, and we're doing both in balance. So it's a kind of understanding and a way of thinking and working, and we can address that. It's a question of education and evidence and persuasion. The more difficult one to solve is the budgetary one, and we're not going to solve that easily. I think what we need to convince people in business is that investment behind effectiveness is a really good investment. Most CFOs, of course, have big concerns about how effective a lot of their advertising is, and I understand that. But where you have a proven vehicle, or you have particularly something that, because it's highly creative, is very likely to be a very, very powerful sales vehicle, then that should be a case for saying, well, we're going to invest behind that. We're going to find the money for that. The money should follow the talent. The money should follow, the proven success. And when you have it, it should get budget, and that's clearly not happening at the moment. So again, in a sense, that's an educational job to be done, but it's a tougher one.